and do an end of September reading, and this is going to be for the sign of Scorpio. And I know we only have like 5 days left, but I still feel like it's important to kind of get it out, like how we're closing out this month, because this month was kind of like a lot of energy with like 2 eclipses, and we had 2 new moons within a month period, and so that energy brought in a lot of shifts and a lot of it was intended to kind of bring in a lot of like clearing of karma. So I just want to see what the energy is, do a little check-in and see if there's anything that your guides want you to know as we end the month of September. So keep in mind, these are general readings, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you find that the reading doesn't resonate, you can always check your moon, rising, or Venus placements, because sometimes those will resonate more. And I do offer personal readings. You can get all that information in the description box. All right, Scorpios. Let us see what are the messages that are wanting to come through for you. Anything you need to be aware of. Scorpio is an energy of change and transformation, and not just little changes, right? Scorpio is the sign of death and rebirth. And so I feel like for Scorpios, the biggest thing to kind of like recognize and realize in that is that what that means is it's never going to be helpful for a Scorpio to try to hold on to anything, especially things that seem like they're slipping away. Anytime you're going through some sort of change, it's probably a necessary change, and it probably means that everything kind of has to be burned down and built back up. And I know that sounds kind of drastic, but more than any zodiac sign, Scorpio has to learn to be able to, completely let go when it comes to endings, changes. So let's see. What are the messages that are wanting to come through? Like, you can't resist change, right? Oh, I do like this message. I feel like you're being guided for the last week of the month, the end of the month, to really get in touch with your creative side, your creativity. I feel like you are in a good space. You got this message card. I love that I am now living in my highest timeline that exists. Every day I am met with blessings and abundance. And so I feel that means that even though you might not feel like you're ideally where you would like to be, you are in kind of the perfect place. You're in the perfect energy, and things are going to continue to progress and feel better, or get better, feel better. Maybe that's it. But I do feel like it's important for you to kind of like honor your feminine energy, honor your creativity. Like, get out of the space of like, okay, what's happening next? What do I have to prepare for next? And get into that space of remembering that you are the creator, right? You are creating this. I think the thing that I struggle with the most, like being a reader, especially as I've kind of like grown and evolved over the last, I think, 8 years since I've been doing this professionally, is that most people are looking for a reading to get the answers to what's coming next. And that's valid, right? But I've also learned that we are the creators, right? And so a reading is really just any reading that you get, any psychic reading. In all honesty, it's predicting and it's predicting the energy flow, right? And the end result of that is based on the energy that you're sitting in. But you are also a creator, right? You have like, I believe in law of attraction. I believe that we can manifest whatever we want. And so when you kind of like when you get into, getting readings, you kind of can also get into that space of like looking to see what's coming next. And when you get too much into that space, you're forgetting that you have a choice, that you can create what you want. Even if a reading were to come up and say, this is going to happen a month from now, you can energetically shift your energy to make it where you get into alignment with what you want, right? And if something, if you're energetically in alignment for something that you want, but you kind of like go off your energy and kind of sabotage, you can sabotage too, right? But the point is, you have the ability to create. And I feel like that's kind of the biggest message here, that even though it may seem like you're not where you would like to be, if you can tap into your creative side and start asking yourself, okay, what do I want? What do I want to create? And not even just like what you want to manifest, but like what would you like to experience? Like what seems like fun to you, Sorry. Also, you're getting the card to make sure that your feminine and masculine energy are in balance. And so the way that you can tell if it's out of balance, if you're sitting too much in your feminine energy, then you feel overly emotional, you don't know what to do, you feel powerless. That would mean that you're focused, like you're sitting too much in feminine energy. And what would help you get out of that would be to, look and make sure that you have good boundaries set up with people. Make sure you're saying no when you need to say no, and just get moving, right? If you feel like there's nothing you can do, you can always do one little thing. And even if it's just like a normal day-to-day task, at least you're doing something, and that will make your masculine energy feel productive, right? Now, if you're in your oh my God, why the fuck can't I talk? If you're sitting too much in your masculine energy, and I feel like Scorpios can do that a lot, because Scorpios have a tendency to get into kind of a controlling energy, and not controlling other people, but like really wanting to kind of like control the pace of things and control the outcome. If you're sitting in that space, that's too much in your masculine energy. If you easily react to things that are going on around you, that's also a sign that you're sitting too much in your masculine energy, and you just need to kind of give yourself some space to nurture your emotional world. Let me see if we can get some more clarity on what that message is. I do like this. So you've been kind of dealing with some kind of like negative cycle for a really long time. maybe even in a cycle of like being in survival mode. But I feel like you've broken out of that. The regeneration card is the Scorpio card. That means you have burned these cycles to the ground, right? And you're ready to kind of like start anew. So you're in a really good space. But I feel like you're needing to really just honor your feminine energy and honor your need for rest. Because I feel like this cycle that you've been in has been like a long cycle, like a 7-year cycle, maybe even longer than that. I also feel like it would be really valuable to, like, now that you've gotten out of this cycle, you probably have different desires, right? You're not going to want the same thing that you wanted 7 years ago when you got into this cycle, right? So it would probably be good to just take some rest, take time to rest and kind of just reflect on, like, what do I want? What would give me emotional fulfillment? What do I value? You know, are my needs and values and desires different? Spend the rest of September just resting, reflecting without overthinking. I also feel that there's a message: you don't chase, you attract. And that needs to be your motto for the rest of September. Yeah, because I feel like, whatever cycle is ending for you has been a really emotional cycle. For some of you, I do feel like it's kind of like the loss of a relationship, but it seems to be something that it really is an emotional loss. And you're in a good space. I feel like you're kind of like seeing the truth. You're standing in your truth. You're standing in your power. But the Queen of Swords is like the widow, somebody who's gone through a lot of loss. And so they tend to see things with a very logical perspective. There's nothing wrong with that, but it does kind of like kill the creativity. And it kills your, not kills, it kind of numbs your ability to receive. Yeah, I feel like some of you maybe are kind of discovering that a relationship that you were holding on to was a lesson and not really what you hoped it would be. I'm also getting this message that you have a tendency to really see the potential and the value in other people, and you really put a lot of effort into reflecting that to people. You see people at their core, you see the potential, you see the greatness in people, and you work very hard to build that up in other people, which is beautiful. But I feel like you don't see that in yourself. And you don't always recognize that in yourself. And you're putting a lot of energy, or you have in the past, to people's potential and not really what they've like consistently shown you. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. But I do feel that you have the Death and the Judgment card. I feel like you're really opening up to like how powerful you really are. I also feel like you're going through a heart center awakening, a heart center space awakening, an emotional awakening, a spiritual awakening. And so that's why I feel like it would be valuable to take some rest, because all that stuff, none of that is anything that goes on externally, right? That's all internally. Yeah, it's like I feel like you're seeing the lesson, you're having the understanding, you're seeing the logic of everything. You have a good grasp on what you're dealing with right now. And I feel like that's a really good thing, but I feel like it's like your heart's not in it, right? Your heart's not it's like you're not necessarily like super excited about this kind of like new beginning, and that's okay, because you're supposed to be making sure that you take time to slow down, because there's some really powerful like emotional spiritual awakening. Like you've done all the legwork, right? You've done all the dirty work, you've done all the nasty messy healing work, you understand the lesson, and now it's like now it's time for you to let spirit fill you up. Nine of Cups is also wish fulfillment. I also kind of feel like that you've kind of been really wanting to be in a certain space. You've had this goal, like I want to manifest this relationship. I want to be here. I want to be here at this time in my life. And I feel like you're kind of feeling that goal is kind of like gone. And I feel like that kind of feels like an emotional loss, but honestly, I don't feel like I feel like you've lost the things that aren't in alignment, but I still feel like you're receiving the fulfillment that you want. Yeah, Ace of Wands. All you need to do is balance your energy right now. It's like you've checked all the boxes. You've done everything, right? All you need to do is just keep your energy balanced and keep your energy in harmony. And I feel like the way to do that is to really focus on your feminine energy right now. Really focus on resting, on nurturing yourself, on showing love for yourself, filling yourself up. And I feel like you're going to, it's like getting this kind of like message from spirit, or getting this amazing opportunity, but it's like stay in balance and kind of just wait for divine inspiration. And even like get yourself into balance so you feel more, energized, so you'll know what to do. And your guidance for the last week of the month, I feel very called out on this. I'm a Scorpio too. It's let go of the need for external validation right now. Your energy speaks for itself. All you have to do is keep your energy in alignment and keep your energy in balance. And there again, there's a strong message that you don't chase, you attract. Yeah, Empress energy. You've made a lot of changes, which means that that you don't want to be moving the same way that you did in the past. You don't need to be, there's this weird message like you don't need to be seen right now. You don't need to be putting yourself out there right now. I feel like your energy might be kind of sensitive. You don't want to engage in too much. Because whatever cycle you're closing out, whatever ending this has been, I feel like it's really been like a very painful emotional lesson. It's been extremely painful, and I feel like you might not even recognize that, because you're just so good at handling it. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's like the answers aren't going to be externally. What you need is not external right now. What you're needing this last week is all internal, is all about filling yourself up. Yeah, because Four of Wands, Page of Cups is what you're not seeing. You're opening your heart center space to a new. You're opening up your heart center space in a new way, in a more powerful way. Your heart has been like purified. Your heart has been purified. And that's going to connect you to a different level of abundance. It's going to connect you to a different level of joy, a different level of happiness. So King of Wands overall, and we have King of Wands, or Queen of Wands, which is really good. You don't need to take any action right now, this last week of the month, until you feel completely confident that this is what you need to do. I feel like you're just kind of getting your energy renewed. You're in this space of rebirth. You're coming back with a vengeance. Like you're gonna show back up with a vengeance, showing up in your life with a vengeance. I don't know why I feel like I'm talking like such an idiot right now. Sorry. But hold on, one more thing. It's like your happiness is no longer how do I word that? It's like your happiness right now is your priority. You're not dealing with any other bullshit. You're not fighting to get you're not fighting to accomplish something. You're not going to fight any ridiculous battles that don't need to be fought. You're not going to engage yourself in any kind of competitive, toxic kind of relationships. Like you're making happiness your number one priority. And there's no steering off of that. Yeah, give yourself rest, especially like the logical part of you, especially the part of you that's wanting to figure everything out. I feel like for some of you, you've been like the cycle that you've been in has been like a cycle that was kind of caused by mother wounds. And I feel like that's what you're healing and that's what you're nurturing. And so it's important to kind of start nurturing your inner child, your feminine energy, and focus inward. Like everything that you need right now is going to be within you. Love you guys.